Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Multiplex Movie Warzone. We've got a great match for you today. It is Payson Johnson versus Antonio Chavez. Two guys who had a short run in the tournament, but have managed to come back since then, are starting out a run here in the post-tournament sort of pictures that we're seeing. This should be a great match. With me on the desk, we've got Mr. Dylan Van Thine. Dylan, thoughts on the match that we're about to see?
It should be an interesting one. Yeah, I can't remember off the top of my head if these guys have ever really crossed paths in Warzone before, but it should be an interesting matchup of styles, and both coming off of impressive victories, so it should be a good one.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, we will get started with our pre-match interviews, bringing in Antonio first with his manager, Anthony. Antonio, like we said, you had a shorter run in the tournament than you hopefully would have liked, but regardless of that, you've managed to bounce back. You've gotten yourself here by beating somebody. I don't remember who you played.
Ryan Payne.
Ryan Payne. That is right. I'm good at my job. So thoughts on how you've been doing to get here? Thoughts on the match ahead of you?
Well, it's been a tough road back. I just kind of felt like maybe like Warzone wasn't my thing anymore, but I still always wanted to give it a try and always just still try to get better. And I feel like I always can get better, but I'm just glad to be here at this point right now. So hoping to keep it going.
Absolutely. You've been around a lot longer than Payson has. We'll see if that experience pays off. Speaking of Payson, we'll bring in Payson and his manager, Kaleb Koho. Payson, Koho, you beat Will Cohen to get here. I know that one. I remember that. Thoughts on how you've played to get here and how you think you're going to play today?
Payson's the team's champion for a reason. Dude is a walking encyclopedia. He knows what he knows, and he just needs the opportunity here to show it. And I think this run has started off strong. Will's just the first one. Everyone else on the way is just a person for us to beat before we come play Boatman. We're gonna get to Boatman, and we're just gonna keep working on that.
All right. Well, we will say goodbye to Koho. We'll say goodbye to Anthony. We will rearrange the competitors, and we will get going with round number one. Round number one is going to work like this. You will get 8 different questions in 8 different categories in the realm of general movies. You will have approximately 15 or so seconds to write your answer down on your whiteboard. If you get the answer right, you will get a point. If you get it wrong, you will not get a point. If you manage to get all 8 questions correct, you will be issued a bonus question, also worth 1 point. Reminder for both competitors that you have 3 repeats and a challenge to use throughout the match. Any questions before we get going today?
Oh, good.
All right, then I will be starting you with your first question in my favorite category of sports movies. What is the name of the team that Kat and Dottie both play for in a league of their own? And we need both the city and the mascot. See, I joked beforehand, but I actually love this movie.
Yeah.
So
It's one of the only sports movies that I enjoy. I don't know why. It's just really well done. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pens down. We'll go to Payson.
The Rockford Peaches.
And Antonio.
Rockford Peaches.
Both correct.
Yep. So your next question comes in the category of Oscars. Who won Best Director for films released in 1982?
Yes, 1982, a great year. We both remember it so fondly because we were around. It was very good to be Canadian back then because, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pens down. We'll go to Antonio.
Spielberg.
And Payson.
I'm not going to get cute with titles, but it's Richard Attenborough.
Richard Attenborough is correct. As we get to your next question, in the category of horror movies, and your question, what genre of music does Pat's band play in Green Room? And we need semi-specific.
You got sports and horror, your 2 favorite genres.
Today is a day for me. How about I pick up my computer, I'll go to the church, and I'll ask some questions about Red Rocket. Just make a day out of it. Have a good old time. I don't work there anymore. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pens down. We'll go to Payson
Punk rock.
and Antonio.
I've been wanting to see this movie. Never seen it. Heavy metal.
Punk is correct. So Payson getting the point, taking a 3-1 lead.
Yep. So your next question comes in the category of war. What war film features characters nicknamed the Cooler King, the Scrounger, and Big X? If you had to have any of these names as a nickname, which would it be?
You know, I think I gotta go with the Scrounger.
Nice.
Because it's the one that raises the most questions, I think. Like, people would understand the other two, but that one, people are like, why? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pens down. We'll go to Antonio
Apocalypse Now.
and Payson.
A double Richard Attenborough this round. Great Escape.
That is correct. As we get to your next question, the category of actors and actresses. Who appears in Heat, Zoolander, and Deliverance? So if you could have one of these as your nickname, which would it be?
guess
Dylan
Deliverance.
Band fine.
That one flows
Honestly,
the best
it would
with
be-
the first and last name. So
It would be pretty cool as like a Warzone nickname. 5, 4,
too bad we don't really do those anymore.
2, 1. Pens down. We go to Payson
I hope he's in Zoolander, John Voight.
and Antonio.
Yeah, he's his dad, John Voight.
He is Derek Zoolander's dad. John Voight is correct.
Next question comes in the category of quotes. What 70s comedy features the quote, "Nothing is over until we decide it is"? Was it over when the Germans bombed Pearl Harbor?
And I will remind you, we're looking for the movie it's from, not the answer to the question being asked within the quote. It's like we ask a trivia question that is just yes or no. Your question, actors and actresses, was John Voight in Zoolander? Yes or no? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pens down. We'll go to Antonio
Monty Python and the Holy Grail. No idea.
and Payson.
This is for you, Scully. Animal House.
Animal House is correct. As we get to your penultimate question in a category that I finally enjoy, it is musicals. Praises be. And your question, Mamma Mia predominantly takes place in what country?
What, so you don't like actors and actresses? They're in like every movie.
I like the actresses. I'm not so big on the actors. It's 50-50.
It's understandable.
You know, can
Understandable.
you tell who wrote this question by the use of the word predominantly instead of primarily, like a normal person? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pens down. We'll go to Payson
I didn't know, so I put the name of another musical, Grease.
and Antonio.
Grease.
Both correct. As we get to your final question, if Payson hits this, we will get a perfect round. I am legally required to say that because, you know,
Damn you, Canadian.
life.
So your final question in this round comes in scores and soundtracks. Who composed the score for Allied?
The hush falls over the crowd. Tensions have never been more medium than they have in an online trivia competition for no money. When someone could maybe get one more point. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pens down. We'll go to Antonio
Thomas Newman.
and Payson for the perfect round.
Very educated guess, Alan Silvestri.
That is correct for the perfect round. So you will be issued a bonus question, also worth 1 point. You do not have to write it down, as you're the only one being asked this question. Are you ready for your bonus question, Payson?
My dogs are barking, but let's go.
All right. Your question. In Last Night in Soho, at what kind of location does Eloise work when she is not at school?
I now get it right. I was asked this in a different league, so you can't challenge, but it's a bar.
And that is correct for the true perfect round. So at the end of round number 1, I have Payson at 9, Antonio at 3. Is that what you have, Dylan?
That is what I have, yes.
All right, then we will bring in our wheel for round number 2. Round number 2 is going to work like this. We have a wheel with 8 different categories on it, as well as spinners and opponent's choice. Our competitor in the lead, in this case Payson, will get to choose whether he would like to spin first or defer. Whichever player spins, if they like what they get on their first spin, they can keep it, or they can choose to spin again unless they land on opponent's choice. Whatever they end up with on their second spin, if they choose to spin again, or their first spin, if they choose to keep it, they will get 5 questions worth 2 points apiece. Or they can go to multiple choice for 1 point. But reminder, stealing is available. So if you miss a question, your opponent can gain some points. The categories on the wheel today are release dates, Alien vs. Predator, Tom Hanks, actors and actresses, Oscars, 90s drama, sci-fi, fantasy, romance, and the spinners and opponent's choice. We'll bring in Koho to decide. Payson, would you like to spin first or defer?
First and foremost, that was amazing. Second of all, I think we should spin.
Spin what?
Defer.
Okay, yeah. We're gonna defer.
All right. I'm glad I wasn't the only person who had no clue what Koho said.
Hey.
We'll bring in
He's a beautiful man.
Antonio's first spin at the wheel. Your first spin, you land on your strength of Alien versus Predator. Would you like to keep that or spin again?
Yeah.
I mean, I think you gotta do it. Get as
Yep.
many as you can. If you have a general guess, you might need to go for it occasionally.
All right.
Try your best, but don't
Yep.
worry about round 1. You got round 2.
All
Yeah.
right. In a shocking turn of events, he has chosen to keep Alien versus Predator. What world do we live in? Dylan, these are the fandom movies you like. Do you want to ask them?
I wouldn't say I like them, but sure. Like some of them. Your first question, Antonio, in Alien versus Predator. What is the name of the predator that goes to Earth to kill the xenomorphs in Aliens versus Predator Requiem?
Multiple choice. It's the shittiest movie, so I gotta think.
Your options are A, Scar, B, Claw, C, Chopper, or D, Wolf.
I believe it's Scar.
That is incorrect. So Payson for the 1 point steal. Is it A, Scar, B, Claw, C, Chopper, or D, Wolf?
I'm gonna go with Wolf.
That is correct for 1 point. Peter Keyes poses as an agent for what organization in Predator 2?
The DEA.
That is correct for 2 points. In Alien 3, in order to convince Clemens to perform an autopsy on Newt, Ripley tells him that Newt could be carrying what disease?
Multiple choice.
Your options are A, cholera, B, measles, C, pneumonia, or D, influenza.
Cholera.
That is correct for 1 point. Who plays the geologist Fifield in Prometheus?
God damn it. Multiple choice.
Your options are A, Rafe Spall, B, Daniel Bruhl, C, Sean Harris, or D, Christopher Abbott.
I believe it's Rafe Spall.
That is incorrect. So Payson for the 1 point steal. Is it A, Rafe Spall, B, Daniel Bruhl, C, Sean Harris, or D, Christopher Abbott?
Sean Harris.
That is correct for 1 point. So your final question, Antonio. In The Predator, Rory first encounters the Predator hounds at what type of location?
5, 4, 3.
A baseball field.
That is correct for 2 points.
Not sure how the wording would be.
All right, so at the end of Antonio's turn, I have Antonio getting himself up to 8 points, but Payson with the steals getting himself up to 11. Is that what you have, Dylan?
Yep.
All right, then we'll bring back in the wheel, and we will bring in Kaleb Koho for Payson's first spin at the wheel. You land on actors and actresses. Would you like to keep that horse?
I would keep that since it's non-switchable.
I would 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
We'll get that.
All right, we will take away the wheel. We will take away Kaleb Koho and Payson. I will be reading you your questions in the category of actors and actresses. So your first question: who appears in the films Con Air, Desperado, and Pulp Fiction?
Is he in Desperado? Steve Buscemi.
That is correct for 2 points. What was the film debut of Rene Russo?
Multiple choice.
All right, your multiple choice options are A, Free Jack, B, Lethal Weapon 2, C, Lethal Weapon 3, or D, Major League.
Major League.
That is correct for 1 point. Who stars as gangster Tony in 1932's Scarface?
Paul Mooney.
That is correct for 2 points. Leslie Mann, Kate Upton, and Nicki Minaj all appear in what 2010s movie?
The Other Woman.
That is correct for 2 points. And here is the situation. If Payson hits this for any point value, he will win via knockout. So, Payson, your final question. Who plays Larry Meadows, a sailor being taken to prison in The Last Detail?
Jack Nicholson.
That is incorrect, Antonio, for the chance of the 2-point steal.
The only other person I know in that movie is Randy Quaid.
That is correct for
Oh, wow.
2 points. So at the end of round number 2, I have Payson at 18, Antonio at 10. Is that what you have, Dylan?
That's what I got.
All right, then we will get into the third and final round. Our third round, as always, is our Pick Your Poison round. Our competitors will get to choose what they want for their 1, 2, 3, and 4-point questions. The categories they can choose from today are the Coen brothers, Tom Cruise, romantic comedies, classics, directors, biopics, recent releases, and horror. So we will let our competitors pick what they want for their 1, 2, 3, and 4-point questions, and we will be right back. All right, we are back. Our competitors have had the chance to choose what they want for their 1, 2, 3, and 4-point questions. Payson has chosen his 1 in recent releases, his 2 in Coen brothers, his 3 in directors, and his 4 in Tom Cruise. Whereas Antonio has chosen his 1 in directors, his 2 in biopics, his 3 in Tom Cruise, and his 4 in romantic comedies. So we will start with Antonio as he is behind, and we will ask questions until either all 8 questions have been asked or one player has been mathematically eliminated. Antonio, I will be reading your questions, starting with your 1-point question in directors. Your first question: who directed Prisoners?
Denis Villeneuve.
That is correct for 1 point. A Canadian. We did it, Dylan. Your 2-point question in biopics. Alec Guinness, Anthony Quinn, and Omar Sharif have supporting roles in what biopic?
Lawrence of Arabia.
That's correct for 2 points. And we are in a situation where Antonio does still need to hit both of these questions in order to take the lead. Otherwise, he will be losing by a technical knockout. Your 3-point question, Antonio and Tom Cruise. In Days of Thunder, Cole is sponsored by what drink?
This always comes to bite me in the ass.
5, 4, 3, 2.
Repeat.
All right, that is your first repeat. Your question once again in Tom Cruise. In Days of Thunder, Cole is sponsored by what drink? Five, 4, 3, 2,
Repeat.
1. All right, that is your second repeat. In Days of Thunder, Cole is sponsored by what drink? Five, 4, 3.
Let me use the last one.
All right, that is your final repeat. Your question one more time. In Days of Thunder, Cole is sponsored by what drink?
I think it's a fictional one. Fuck. Mountain Dew.
And your winner by way of technical knockout, Payson Johnson. We were looking for Mellow Yellow.
Right.
Mellow Yellow is the answer. So with that, we will get into post-match interviews, starting with our unfortunate second place finisher, Antonio. Antonio, I think tonight just wasn't your night. Round one, like Payson went perfect, and it wasn't the greatest round one for you. And then AVP, those questions can get deep. But you were able to hold on for as long as you could. Got a big 2-point steal there at the end of round two to really boost your chances of staying alive. But yeah, just not your day today, I think. Thoughts on the match, thoughts on your opponent, so on and so forth.
Oh yeah, I was just kind of downtrodden after round one. I think it's probably like maybe at least if not the worst, but at least one of the worst that I've had. And yeah, those AVP questions kind of threw me off. And just hoping, I was like, it had to be a Tom Cruise movie that I've only seen once. But I was just, and the funny thing is, I've heard it like multiple times, but it just never sticks in my head. Maybe because the answer's so damn funny. But either way, it was a good game by Payson and kicked ass. And yeah, man, just try to keep coming back. I feel like maybe I should focus on fandom, but I always have a place in my heart for Warzone. So
I mean, you belong in Warzone too. You're great at fandom. That's been proven.
I was gonna say you are not done in Warzone. You're done for the season. Like you'll be back. We'll see you again.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, this does unfortunately bring an end to your season for this year. But I'm sure we will see you again. Maybe sometime before the tournament next year, for sure in the tournament next year. But with that being said, we will say goodbye to Antonio and Anthony. We'll bring in Kaleb Koho and Payson Johnson. Payson with a very strong win, very high score. Thoughts on the match you just played?
That was filthy.
First off, great job, Antonio. I come into this game, I just wanted to honestly have fun. I'm sort of kind of in the gameplay headspace right now, but I have other things going on. So I really just want to put in as much work as I can, but at the same time, I'm very happy I was able to get the win, and I'm happy to move on to the next match in a way.
Listen, we come to this place for magic, and Payson delivered. Okay, so
I like that.
We don't have Nicole Kidman in Canada. She never got here. But so yes, this does push you further forwards in your Warzone career. I got not a clue who you're playing next. I got not a clue how much it matters. But you'll have another match. It will be more important than than this one was, I would think, based on how this game typically works. Yeah. Thoughts? I do know who you are playing. A voice from the heavens has bestowed that information upon me. You will be playing the winner of Matthew Chen and Nazario Montenegro. If thoughts on those two people, please be nice.
If this season keeps progressing the way it has, we will be playing Matthew Chen, who is the most improved player in movie Warzone this season, I think. An insane run that Matthew's on. I fully expect us to be having a friendly competition with him in the next round. But Nazario, you can't underestimate him. And if we're playing Nazario, then Payson is going to beat him up for me because I'm still mad about that.
What co-host?
Absolutely. Well, all right. We will say farewell to Koho and to Payson. Dylan, I think that was a very good match. What about you?
Yeah, it was a good match. I mean, unfortunately, I think it was decided in round one. Like a 6-point deficit coming out of that round can be pretty tough to come back from. But I think Antonio still played very well and is a very strong competitor. And Payson just played like lights out today. Like I think he only missed one question. So
Absolutely. He hit everything until that very last question in round 2. Very scary. So with that being said, that is going to bring an end to this match. So I have been Cameron Holzman on behalf of Dylan Van Thine, Kaleb Koho, Payson Johnson, Antonio Chavez, Anthony Tisdall, and everyone else here at Movie Warzone. Thank you for watching. Have a great whatever time of day it is that you are watching this match.
Goodbye. Later.
After you, Junior. We'll always have Paris.
Bye-bye, boys.
Have fun storming the castle.
You get away?
You've been taken.
Goodbye.